Have you ever worked hard for a whole month, gotten paid, and then wondered where all the money went? You are not alone. Most people work for years and still feel stuck in the same place. This lesson uses simple English to practice listening, but the idea is powerful for your future. Today, you will learn the small money habits that quietly separate people who build wealth from people who stay stuck. Not luck, not a big salary, just a few habits repeated without fail. By the end of this lesson, you will understand something most people never learn. Wealth is not built in one big moment. It is built in small, quiet decisions, made again and again, until they become who you are. Most people search for the one big decision that will fix their finances forever. A better job, a lucky investment, a sudden windfall. Those things can help, but they rarely fix anything on their own. Without the right habits underneath them, even a large amount of money tends to disappear just as quickly as it arrived. The habits are the foundation. Everything else is built on top of them. Here is the truth most people avoid. Earning more is not actually required to build wealth. You need to keep more, protect it, and let it grow with patience. That sounds simple. It is simple. But simple does not mean easy. Most people know this. Very few people do it. Think about someone you know who always seems calm about money. They are not calm because they earn a fortune. They are calm because they built a system, a small habit that runs quietly in the background of their life. While other people react to money, this person controls it. 6 rules stand between you and that same calm. Not tricks, not shortcuts. Rules that work slowly, then all at once. Small habits, paid first, build real wealth. Say that to yourself, because you will hear it again before this lesson ends. Some of you are watching this because you already earn a good income, yet somehow your savings never seem to grow. Others are watching because you feel like you earn too little to even try. Both groups need the same 6 rules because the rules were never about income. They were always about behavior. Think about 2 people earning the exact same salary. One of them ends every year with more money than the year before. The other ends every year in almost the same place, sometimes worse. The difference between them is rarely talent, and it is almost never luck. The difference is a small set of habits, practiced quietly, without applause, for years. This lesson is not going to promise you a shortcut. There is no shortcut, and anyone who tells you otherwise is selling something. What this lesson will give you is something more valuable than a shortcut. It will give you a system, 6 simple rules that work whether you feel motivated or not, whether the market is good or bad, whether life is calm or chaotic. Let's begin with the first rule, the one that changes everything else. Rule 1. Pay yourself first. Most people pay everyone else first: the landlord, the phone bill, the grocery store, the credit card. Whatever is left at the end of the month, if anything is left, goes into savings. That is backwards, and it keeps millions of people stuck for their whole lives. The habit that changes everything is simple. The moment your money arrives, before you pay a single bill, you move a piece of it away. Even a small piece. You pay yourself first, like you are the most important bill you owe. Picture a man named Daniel. He works a normal job, nothing special, nothing glamorous. For years, he told himself he would save whatever was left over. There was never anything left over. Then one week he changed one thing. The day his paycheck landed, before he touched anything else, he moved 10% into a separate account. He didn't feel rich. He barely noticed the money was gone. But 6 months later, he noticed something else. A number that used to be 0 was now real. This is not about having extra money. It is about deciding, before life spends it for you, that a piece of every dollar belongs to your future. Poor money habits wait to see what's left. Strong money habits decide first and adjust everything else around that decision. Notice something important about how this rule works. It does not ask you to spend less overall. It simply asks you to change the order. Instead of spending, then saving whatever remains, you save first, then spend what remains. The total amount of money moving through your life barely changes. What changes is which part of your life gets protected, and which part gets whatever is left over. You do not need a large percentage. Perfect timing is not required either. You need one automatic transfer, one habit repeated every single time money enters your hands. That is how small habits, paid first, quietly turn into real wealth. Ask yourself something honest right now. If your paycheck arrived today, what would you pay first? Your future or everyone else's business? That single answer predicts more about your financial life than your salary ever will. A common excuse hides behind this rule, and it sounds reasonable every time. I'll pay myself first once I earn more, but the truth is uncomfortable. Someone who does not pay themselves first on a small income almost never starts paying themselves first on a large one, because the habit was never built. The income changed, but the behavior stayed exactly the same, only now with bigger bills to match the bigger paycheck. Compare two coworkers earning the same salary. One sets up an automatic transfer the day their contract begins, moving a small percentage away before they even see the rest. The other tells themselves they will start next month, then the month after, then the month after that. 5 years later, one of them has a real number in savings. The other has 5 years of good intentions and nothing to show for them. Poor habits wait for the perfect moment. Strong habits create the moment themselves, on day one, without waiting for permission. Rule 2. Patience over speed. We live in a world that rewards speed. Fast food, fast messages, fast everything. So it makes sense that people want their money to grow fast too. But money does not work like that, and chasing speed is one of the fastest ways to lose what you already built. Wealth grows the way a tree grows. You do not plant a seed on Monday and expect shade by Friday. You water it. You wait. Some weeks nothing seems to happen at all. Then one day, without warning, it is simply there, tall and strong, and people ask how long it took to grow. Consider a woman named Grace. In her 20s, she watched friends chase quick wins, one investment trend after another, always looking for the fast answer. Grace chose a different path. She put a small, steady amount away every month into something boring and simple, and she left it alone. For years, her account looked unimpressive next to her friends' exciting stories. Then the trends faded, one by one, and the exciting stories quietly disappeared. Grace's boring plan was still standing, taller every year. Patience is not passive. Patience is a decision, made every single day, to not touch what you are building. It is choosing the slow tree over the fast weed, even when the weed looks more exciting in the moment. Here is a hard truth. Every fast path to wealth that skips patience eventually asks for patience anyway, usually in the form of a loss that takes years to recover from. You can pay the price of patience now, calmly on your own terms. Or you can pay it later, painfully, on money's terms. Those small habits, paid first, only become real wealth with one more ingredient. Patience is what lets them turn into something you can actually see. A particular kind of pain comes with patience, and it is worth naming honestly. It is the pain of watching nothing happen. Month after month, the number in your account grows so slowly that it barely feels real. Meanwhile, everyone around you seems to be talking about the next big opportunity, the next quick win, the next thing that promises to skip the waiting entirely. This is exactly the moment where most people quit. Not at the beginning, when everything feels exciting and new, but somewhere in the middle, when the excitement has faded and the results have not yet arrived. The middle is boring. The middle is where patience is tested the hardest, and where most people give up right before things would have started moving. Weak money habits chase excitement. Strong money habits survive boredom. If you can learn to sit calmly through the boring middle, without abandoning your plan, and without chasing every new shiny opportunity that appears, you will already be ahead of most people who ever attempt to build wealth. Rule 3. Small amounts repeated. People often believe wealth requires a large amount of money to start. This belief stops more people than almost anything else. They think, I will start saving when I earn more. That day rarely comes, because the habit was never the amount. The habit was the repetition. A small amount, moved consistently, beats a large amount moved rarely. $10 a week for 10 years is a habit. $1,000 once when you happen to feel inspired is an accident. Habits build wealth. Accidents do not. Think about a young man named Marcus working part-time, barely covering rent. He could not save much, maybe $5 a week. His friends laughed, told him it was pointless, too small to matter. Marcus kept doing it anyway, every single week, rain or shine, good mood or bad. $5 became $100. $100 became $1,000. And more importantly, the habit itself became part of who he was. When his income eventually grew, the habit was already there, waiting, ready to grow with it. If you are watching this and thinking your income is too small to start, remember Marcus. The size of the amount matters far less than the strength of the habit. You are not trying to get rich in one transfer. You are training a muscle that will carry you for the rest of your life. A quiet mathematical truth also sits behind small, repeated amounts, one that most people never stop to consider. Money that sits and grows over a long period benefits from time, in a way that a single large amount, added late, simply cannot match. Someone who starts small today and stays consistent for 20 years often ends up further ahead than someone who waits 10 years for a larger amount before starting at all. Time, not size, does most of the heavy work. The earlier the small habit begins, the more time it has to work quietly in the background of your life. Another benefit of small, repeated amounts is one that many people never consider. It builds identity, not just savings. Every time you complete the habit, even with a tiny amount, you are quietly telling yourself something important. I am someone who saves. I am someone who follows through. That identity becomes far more valuable than the money itself, because identity is what carries you through the years when the amounts finally start to matter. Compare this to someone waiting for a large, one-time opportunity to start saving, a bonus, an inheritance, a lucky break. Even if that opportunity arrives, without the identity of a saver already in place, the money tends to disappear just as quickly as it came. Large amounts without habits rarely last. Small amounts with habits almost always grow. Before we continue, a quick reminder. If this lesson is giving you something useful, stay until the end, because the next few rules are where most people quietly fail, even after they start saving. The small habit is only the beginning. What comes next decides whether it survives. Rule 4. Discipline beats motivation. Motivation is a feeling. It shows up when you watch an inspiring video, when you set a big goal, when someone tells a great story about their success. Motivation feels powerful in the moment, but motivation is unreliable. It disappears the moment life gets boring, tired, or stressful, which is most of the time. Discipline is different. Discipline does not ask how you feel. Discipline simply repeats the action, whether you feel inspired or not. People who build wealth are rarely the most motivated people in the room. They are the most disciplined. A woman named Sophia transfers money into her savings every single payday, without exception for 11 years now. Some months she felt excited about it. Most months she felt nothing at all. A few months, she genuinely did not want to do it when an unexpected expense made saving feel unfair. She did it anyway, not because she felt motivated, but because the habit no longer asked for her permission. It simply happened, automatically, quietly, every time. If your saving habit depends on your mood, it will eventually collapse, because moods are unreliable by nature. If your saving habit depends on a system, an automatic transfer, a fixed rule you follow no matter what, it will survive every mood you ever have. Motivation gets you started. Discipline is what keeps you going after motivation leaves the room, and motivation always leaves the room eventually. This is exactly why discipline matters more than motivation. It is the quiet guard that protects your small habit when motivation walks away. Many people misunderstand discipline. They imagine it as something harsh, something that requires constant struggle and willpower. But real discipline, the kind that lasts for years, rarely feels like struggle at all. It feels closer to habit than to effort, closer to brushing your teeth than to running a race. Daily motivation is not needed to brush your teeth. You simply do it because it has become part of your normal routine. The same is true for saving money. In the beginning, it may require some effort to remember, to resist spending, to follow through when it would be easier not to. But over time, if you repeat the action consistently enough, it stops requiring effort at all. It becomes automatic, quiet, and almost invisible, exactly like a habit should be. This is why the strategy behind discipline matters more than the feeling of discipline. Build automatic systems. Remove decisions. Make the disciplined choice the easy choice, and the undisciplined choice the harder one. Do this, and you will find that you rarely need motivation at all, because the system is doing the discipline for you. Rule 5. Avoid lifestyle creep. Something strange happens to most people when their income grows. Their spending grows faster. A raise arrives, and within weeks, a new car payment appears, or a bigger apartment, or upgrades to everything they own. The extra income disappears before it ever has a chance to build anything. This pattern has a name: lifestyle creep. Lifestyle creep is quiet and dangerous because it never feels like a mistake. Each single upgrade feels reasonable, even deserved. You worked hard. You earned more. Why not enjoy it? But add up 10 reasonable upgrades over 10 years, and you find someone earning far more than before, yet somehow no closer to real wealth than when they started. Consider a man named Elijah. Every time he received a raise at work, he followed one rule. Half of the new money went straight into savings, automatically, before he ever saw it in his regular account. The other half he allowed himself to enjoy. His lifestyle did improve over the years, slowly, but his savings improved just as fast, sometimes faster. His coworkers, who spent every raise completely, stayed in the same financial place year after year, despite earning similar money to Elijah. The goal is not to avoid every reward for your hard work. Life still needs to be lived. The goal is to make sure your future gets paid at the same rate your lifestyle does, so growth in income becomes growth in wealth, not just growth in spending. The habit you built with your first paycheck should not stop growing just because your income did. It deserves a share of every raise you have not received yet. There is a simple question that can protect you from lifestyle creep for the rest of your life. Before any major upgrade, ask yourself honestly, am I buying this because I truly need it, or because my income grew and it feels like the natural next step? There is nothing wrong with rewarding yourself. The danger appears when every reward becomes permanent, stacking on top of the last one, until your monthly expenses have quietly grown to match, or even exceed, your monthly income. Weak financial habits let spending expand automatically with income. Strong financial habits let spending expand deliberately, on purpose, with a clear decision behind every increase. The difference between these two paths looks small in any single month, but over 10 or 20 years, it becomes the difference between financial freedom and financial stress, regardless of how much someone actually earns. Rule 6. Protect the habit from excuses. Every person who ever built wealth through small habits faced the same enemy, over and over again. Not a market crash, not bad luck, a simple, quiet excuse whispered on an ordinary day. Just this once. I'll skip it this month. I'll start again next week. Excuses are dangerous precisely because each one, alone, seems harmless. Skipping one payment to yourself will not ruin your future. But excuses rarely stay alone. One exception becomes two. Two becomes a pattern. A pattern becomes the new normal, and the habit quietly dies, without ever announcing that it is gone. There is a woman named Amara who protected her habit with one firm rule. Her transfer to savings happened automatically, the same day as her paycheck, before she ever saw the money sitting in her main account. She removed the decision entirely. There was no daily choice to make, no willpower required, no moment where an excuse could slip in. The system decided for her, every single time. This is the real secret behind people who seem endlessly disciplined. They are not fighting temptation every day through sheer willpower. They built systems that remove the fight completely. Automatic transfers, separate accounts. Rules made once, in a calm moment, that protect you later, in a weak one. If you want your money habits to survive real life, do not rely on your future self to feel strong every single day. Build the system now, while you feel clear and determined, and let that system carry you through the days when you do not. A habit only builds real wealth if it can survive an excuse, and most habits are never tested until the excuse finally arrives. It is worth naming the most common excuses directly, because recognizing them in the moment is often enough to defeat them. Just this one time will not matter. I deserve a break from saving this month. I'll make up for it later. Each of these sentences feels harmless, even reasonable, in the moment they arrive. But notice that they never arrive only once. They return again and again, disguised slightly differently each time, always asking for the same small surrender. The people who succeed at building wealth are not the people who never hear these excuses. Everyone hears them. The people who succeed are the ones who built a system strong enough that the excuse never gets the chance to win, because the decision was already made, automatically, long before the excuse ever had the opportunity to speak. Let's bring these 6 rules together, because none of them work alone, and all of them work quietly over time. You pay yourself first, before life spends your money for you. You choose patience over speed, letting your money grow like a tree, not a trend. You repeat small amounts consistently, because the habit matters more than the number. You choose discipline over motivation, because discipline still shows up on the days, motivation does not. You guard against lifestyle creep, so growth in income becomes growth in wealth. And you protect the whole system from excuses by removing the daily fight completely. None of these rules are exciting. None of them will make headlines. That is exactly why they work. Wealth is rarely built by one dramatic decision. It is built by ordinary decisions, repeated so many times that they stop feeling like decisions at all, and start feeling like who you are. Small habits, paid first, build real wealth. You have heard that sentence several times in this lesson, and by now, I hope it sounds less like a slogan and more like a plan. You do not need to change your entire life today. You need one transfer, one small percentage, moved automatically, starting with your very next payday. That single decision, protected and repeated, is enough to change where you stand 5 years from now. Picture yourself 5 years from today, looking back at this exact moment. One version of you closed this video and did nothing, the same as every other video watched and forgotten. Another version of you closed this video and set up one automatic transfer, small and simple, and then simply let time do the rest. Both versions of you feel the same today. Only one of them feels different 5 years from now. None of this requires a finance degree, a large inheritance, or perfect timing in the market. It requires a decision made today to start small and stay consistent. Wealth is not reserved for people who earn extraordinary incomes. It is available to anyone willing to practice ordinary habits consistently for long enough that they stop feeling like effort and start feeling like identity. Pay yourself first. Choose patience over speed. Repeat small amounts without fail. Choose discipline over motivation. Guard against lifestyle creep. Protect the habit from every excuse that tries to interrupt it. Keep listening, keep learning, and keep building. If this lesson helped you see money differently, tell me in the comments which rule you are starting with first. And if you want to improve your English while learning real-life wisdom, stay close, because there is more waiting for you right here.